something. Maybe not a bucket, but something. Bear with us. How about that white box right there? Yeah, that'll work. Oh, you're way back there? They might not be able to hear us from that far away.
No?
We could try it. Huh? Can you guys hear us? Blink if you understand me.
Oh, see, I'm blocking the goods here.
Move the goods over. Let's slide the table.
That joker's heavy.
Slide the table that way. Which way? Go that way. How about that?
Perfect. Yeah, there we go.
Uh-huh. Look at that.
Sweet. Look at Uncle Eddie.
Believe it or not, Uncle Eddie was a Christmas present from my lovely wife.
That's great.
You can tell she cares.
All right. What are we talking about first?
Let's see. What is it, Wednesday? It's Wednesday. Yeah. Happy Wednesday. Let's start there. It's lunchtime here in Georgia, and we really didn't feel like working on anything right now, but that's not true. The honest to God truth is we're actually stuck. Mm-hmm. We are literally stuck and cannot work on anything here. We got the C10 behind us, and there's about a dozen projects that need to happen on that C10. We seem to be missing one of everything for each project.
We can't start or finish anything, so
no,
whatever.
No. Narcoleptic Customs, dude, thank you. Good looking out. Wow. Alexander Manthe, wow, thank you. Yeah, so the C10, our plan was to put our heads down and just keep wrenching on it until it ran, and we've been doing that, but we're legit stuck on it. We're also waiting on parts for the Caddy, which if you guys have seen the channel recently, you've seen we're working on a 61 Caddy with our friends at MRC Fabrications up in Kernersville, North Carolina. That car is amazing. And we're waiting on some parts from Motion Raceworks to show up, in particular, the parachute mounts for it. And the next time we go there, we'll be putting parachutes on a Cadillac.
2 parachutes.
Yeah, 2 parachutes because it's a big car. We'll be putting the parachutes on. We'll be putting the bumpers back on the car.
Sheet metal floor.
Camaro 72 Justin, thank you. We'll be working on the floors, hopefully finishing the suspension. We got some Viking coilovers coming. Yep. So there will be a video update, probably not till March, because we're not going to get out there until March. So yeah, so we're stuck on this, we're stuck on that, and we were just sitting here going, well, let's just sit here and BS with you guys, because we have no video for you today.
Well, we do, just not from here.
No, not today.
Faster with Finnegan came out today.
Oh, yeah. Well, we don't have a video. We don't have anything we shot here.
All right.
But yeah, we just figured why not talk about Faster with Finnegan. Michael Greasy, thank you. Happy birthday. Dude, that's rad. Sunny Person, thank you. Yeah, so we just figured we've never done this before, but after a new episode of Roadkill comes out or Faster with Finnegan comes out, we're always BSing about it with people, and because there's so much that you guys don't actually see happening because they just can't fit it all in there. Shade Tree Dumpster Diver, thank you. Scott Siebel, thank you. And so what better time than now to just sit here and tell you everything? Yeah. So let's start with what came out first?
Rick Fairmont.
Oh, Rick Fairmont. Yeah, so
I love it.
Season 2 of Faster with Finnegan is finally upon us. Chuck Gallup, good looking out. Trenton Duncan, thank you. So season 2 of Rick Fairmont is upon us, and Faster with Finnegan is upon us, and it began with one of our biggest projects ever on that show, Rick Fairmont. And if you've never seen Faster with Finnegan, Travis Schultz, thank you. Newbern is on it. My good friend Mike Cotton is on it. I'm on it. And then we have mystery people constantly. Yeah. And the premise of that show is we're going to go racing. And very rarely do I ever know. Wow. Jim Flatton. Thank you. Very rarely do I ever know what kind of racing we're doing. A lot of times I don't know what we're driving.
Jason P.
Thank you. And so that's how this season kicked off. We found out we went to Atlanta Motor Speedway, and we were going to have to go up against a real live and very talented NASCAR driver, Corey LaJoie.
Yeah.
In not quite a full-fledged NASCAR. It's a NASCAR experience car, which has less horsepower, but the bones of it are basically a NASCAR.
It's an old NASCAR. That's what it is.
Yeah, with a different motor. Small block Chevy, as it turns out, which
Right.
is weird because it was a Ford Fusion body, but
Ford Fusion, sure.
whatever. Bill Capetanos, thank you. So the guys bought a 78 Ford Fairmont, and then we proceeded to drive it around the track completely stock, which was quite scary.
So Cotton bought that car basically sight unseen. He messaged the guy, talked to the guy. They settled on a price, and the guy delivered it to my house. So once it got there, I was like, well, I mean, y'all have already done this deal, so it is what it is. I didn't even drive the car. I'm like, here you go.
It was disgusting.
It really was.
And crappy. Like it was like we've had some junk on this show and Roadkill and Drew Davis, thank you. But like it was epically bad. Like this, we were talking disgusting levels of DNA in the carpet.
Okay, I'm glad you said that. The title to this car was the original title. It was covered in blood.
What do you mean the original title?
The title to that car was covered in blood.
Oh, there was blood on the physical paper
the title. I didn't even want to touch it. It was just covered in blood.
And was it was a Roadkill fan, right? That had the car?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a car guy. Like it was a Ford Fairmont that had a 302 in it, a T5 5-speed in it. And other than that, the car, other than wheels and tires, it was pretty much stock. Bill paid, thank you. And so we went around that track and just felt like it was going to chop the tires in half on the first lap.
Yeah.
And then we find out we're racing Corey LaJoie. And I knew of him. I didn't know him well at all.
Same here.
And I don't think it made the episode, but all you need to know about Corey was he walks on, and as he's walking past our car, he kicks the taillight out. Like just a full-on dick move, kicks the taillight out on our car. And I don't know why that never made the cut of the episode.
But if you watch the episode, you can see the taillight's broken. On the driver's side, you can see the taillight's broken out. He did that.
Yeah, it's broken because he walked in there and kicked our taillight. And then he kicked our butts, like literally.
Yeah.
Bearded Beerman, thank you. It's going really well. Because that was his question. Tire Fryer, thank you. He's here for the burnouts. So anyway, yeah, there's some stuff you didn't know because it never made the episode. The title was covered in blood. Corey's a jerk and broke our taillight. I think he wanted us to get pulled over. I don't know.
He's a hell of a driver.
Yeah, he can drive. I think everybody. So this episode did two things, in my opinion. It showed the beauty and grace of the Ford Fairmont and the Fox body platform when augmented with a supercharger and driven around a banked oval. It did. It also cemented his status as a bad man because when we first met him, I didn't think he'd get in the car at all. Like, and he wasn't a fan of the car, but when the car came back to the track with a blower sticking through the hood, he was kind of like, that's cool, right? But when he saw me drive it and that it wasn't crashing and that I was going medium speed, he was like, I can go faster in it. Yeah. And so I think the lure of showing us that it could go even faster was too much. He like grabbed his helmet, got in the car.
Dude, he couldn't wait. Like that's all he talked about. He's like, I want to drive it. I want to drive it. I want to drive it. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
It's all yours.
So yeah, so this episode did two things. Everybody wants a Fairmont. And Corey LaJoie, legendary status now. But he also says taillight. Son of a bitch, you do.
Yeah. He gained some fans though. So
yeah,
I like him.
He totally did.
Much respect. Glad he didn't die.
Well, I gotta be honest, like I wasn't really a NASCAR guy. I love Days of Thunder, obviously. But I've never actually been to a NASCAR race. And the only one I've seen all the way through was the one where I think it was Juan Pablo Montoya ran into the back of the jet dryer. And so I was walking past the TV when that happened. And I was like, oh my God, that guy just ran into the back of the track equipment. And the next thing I knew, it might have been Brad Keselowski was like live tweeting from his car stuck on the track while they were waiting to put out the fire and all this stuff. And so I watched that race conclude and I was like, I'm like, all right, this is like wrestling with cars. Like I'm into this. But I knew all the really big drivers from back in the 90s. But I really haven't followed NASCAR. But now after meeting Corey, I have a reason to follow NASCAR. So I'd love to see that dude just kick ass.
We got somebody to cheer for now.
We do. And consequently, after that shoot, when we started working on the Cadillac in North Carolina, we went by his dad's place, which is called The Joy of Seating, because I want to go 200 in my Cadillac, and I'm frightened that if something goes wrong, it'll end badly. So I was like, I need that same seat. I need the seat that was in the Fairmont that made me feel good and safe. I need that in the Cadillac. So we went by there.
The shop's like 45 minutes from where the Caddy is right now. So
it is. La Jolla Seating's, I don't know where in North Carolina, but it's not far from Kernersville. It's not far from Mooresville. And we went in there, and they were leaving for a show. And I was like, his dad took one look at me, and he's like, you need this seat, this width, this height.
Yeah.
And he sat me in one and nailed it. No tape measure. He just looked at me and was like, you fit in this seat. Well, that seat happened to be bolted to a golf cart that was heading to a show because that was his display seat.
Yeah.
And so we borrowed it and haven't brought it back to him yet because we're still building the car. Brett Bell, thank you. What else do you remember about that episode? Talk about the off-camera stuff, because we only had like 3 days to work on the car in my garage, and then we had to jump to an entirely different episode because the way that show is filmed is all 6 episodes kind of happen at the same time. So in 1 week, we'll build 2 cars, and then the following week, we'll race 3 cars, and then we'll finish the build of 2 more cars. And it all happens out of order. It's really confusing. And so we did the majority of the build in my garage here. And then on the weekend, him and Cotton were the ones that were finishing the fender flares and some of the other stuff that didn't happen on camera. So what was that like? What was it like to be with Michael Wayne Cotton on a weekend? No cameras. What's that like?
It's a party. It's always a party. But so yeah, he used like black gaff tape on the fenders here just to kind of give it the look that we were looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And then we took it to my house, and he put a bunch of patch panels in, bondoed it, spray painted it. feathered it in. We lettered it. I built a spoiler for it, put NASCAR exhaust on it, which sounds awesome.
The spoiler was nice.
I didn't know what the hell I was doing, so
I like it.
But and then once we got to the track, one of the brake lines busted on the car, and I had to hurry up and fix it before you drove it because one of the brake lines was rusted.
So I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
I had no idea. You let me get in that car.
No, well, after that, I inspected the rest of the brake lines. I was like, all right, it was just the one. So I fixed it, bled the brakes. There you go.
So here's what a lot of people don't get. Stephen Welsher, thank you. There are comments every now and again, and we got this especially with season 1 with the S15. Where we were like driving around after we lowered it on the track, and we're like, damn, the axle's hitting the frame.
Yeah.
If we just cut that bump stop off, it'll handle better. I'll go faster, but we're out of time. And everybody's like, what is it with Motor Trend shows in particular, where you just don't have any time and you give up? And the reality is it costs a lot of money to rent out Atlanta Motor Speedway. And the moment your car hits the track, the timer starts, right?
Yeah.
And then and you're paying for it. And so we only get like 5 hours a day on those tracks, not all of them, but Atlanta Motor Speedway in particular, to actually film the cars going around. And so once we start filming, we can't really stop to go in the pits and get out Sawzalls and modify the truck again. Like the director and our producers are standing there going, clock's ticking, dude, and we still have to film a bunch of other things. And so we're not intentionally shorting ourselves on time so we can have a, we're going to leave the shop moment. It's just the nature of, trying to film the show, and you only have X number of dollars, and we'd rather spend the dollars, in other places, like getting the parts for the car. So I don't know why I went down that path there, but we ran out of time there.
A good example of that is the S15 on one of these episodes. It was lowered so much the wiring harness for the ECU fell onto the tire. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Stripped.
It cut all the wires to the ECU.
Oh my God. There was like 40 wires I had to separate and put electrical tape on just to make the truck run again so we could keep racing it.
It was crazy. It
terrible.
Didn't break the wires, but the tire caught the wires and it stripped
They're all
the
bare.
plastic off of them. So there were like 40 bare wires just from the fuse.
Touching all together.
Yeah. So like he had to individually separate them and wrap them in electrical tape.
It's Cotton's fault.
Always Cotton's fault.
Damn it.
Speaking of Cotton's fault, there's a group of people, friends of ours, that have a podcast called Beer beards, and burnouts. And every Tuesday night, I don't know what time, but every Tuesday night, except when it's not Tuesday night or when they forget, Chad Reynolds and Lyle Barnett have a podcast. It's really good. If you're on Facebook, go find beards, and
burnouts, and beer.
Even if it was in front of me, I still couldn't say it. You try to say beards, and burnouts 3 times fast. I dare you.
Beards, burnouts, and beer every Tuesday night.
Yeah. That one's really good. My friend Rye Klemp and Logan Tarrant have another podcast called Clapped Out. I don't know how often they do that. And there's actually a third guy on that podcast who was nearly silent when I went on there a couple weeks ago. It was like we had the Zoom screen going, and there were 4 squares, but only 3 of us were talking. Sadly I don't know the other dude's name, but that's another good one on Facebook. If you're into podcasts, watch those. So that was episode 1 of Faster with Finnegan. Episode 2 is out today.
Yep.
Like today is the premiere of episode 2 of Faster with Finnegan, season 2 on the Motor Trend app. And I like this one a lot.
Yeah, it was fun.
This was good. JB, thank you.
But another thing on the Fairmont too, you'll see in the episode where we had to push it later on, the starter died. That was the original.
Oh yeah, that actually happened.
Yeah, the original starter off the 302 that was in the car we put on that new Blueprint motor.
Mm-hmm.
And it got hot and just died. And I hadn't heard that car run since the episode, and I've been meaning to fix it just because it's sitting in my shop. I just want to hear it.
Is it still in your shop?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's very trusting of them. It really is. Chad Harville, thank you on behalf of Corey. Sorry, not sorry for that raggedy taillight. Corey's definitely not sorry about the taillight. I'm not sorry we haven't given him his seat back either. Tell his dad I said what's up.
Don't repossess it now.
I know. If only they could find it. Okay, so episode 2, the Miata. Shout to Tony Angelo and his new channel, Tuned Up. Oh yeah. So Tony Angelo, really good friend of mine, and the main reason we finished Drag Week 2019 and won, has a new channel called Tuned Up on YouTube. It's awesome. It's pretty much the best name I've ever heard.
It really is.
For a YouTube channel about fixing cars.
Yeah.
So everybody, don't go now and watch it, but when you get the time. Joni Parkinen. I also have a podcast named Beer. It's just me talking to myself drinking beer. That sounds very original. I love that. And to be honest, if it wasn't noon on a Wednesday and I didn't have to pick my kids up from school later, I'd probably have a beer in my hand right now, but adulting.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob Mahone. Love the show, man. Can't wait for the next episode of the C10 and the Caddy. We may have one on Friday about the C10.
Yeah.
If all goes well.
Yep.
We'll see. SF Mason, thank you. So anyway, season 2, Fast with Finnegan, the Miata. This guy buys a Mazda Miata convertible, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Unbeknownst to me, and we end up at Indian Mountain Off-Road Park is it in Georgia?
Piedmont,
Alabama?
Yep.
Next to Georgia.
Close.
And he really wants to go off-roading up a mountain in a Miata. But he doesn't actually want to be in the Miata. No. He wants to ride his brand new Honda. Is it a Raptor? What the hell is it? Talon Raptor. It's the Raptor Talon.
Yeah.
Honda Talon. Yeah. Honda, thanks. He's definitely going to sponsor us now. I don't even know the name of it.
Appreciate that.
I heard you have a turbo kit Honda. His Talon is
Jackson Racing.
It's really Jackson Racing has it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not Honda.
Yeah. No.
Is it the same Jackson Racing that used to supercharge Hondas back in the day, like K-Series motors?
Probably.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
Yeah.
That's a Fast and Furious crossover. What? I don't even know where I was going anymore. Anyway, good episode. Go watch it.
Yeah. We hack it up pretty good.
We do.
We buy a cage for it and it doesn't fit you. So they have to modify the cage and raise it like 4 inches.
Oh, yeah.
So then we can't put the top back on it. So now it's just sitting in my house covered up with a tarp because the top won't go back on it.
So there's a shop here locally. And guy that owns it, his name is Cameron. Nice guy. He got suckered into installing roll cages on a couple of the Faster with Finnegan cars this season because there is not time for us to cage a car, in 3 days while doing all the other things. And so they send him the Miata, they send him a kit cage, and I think it might be an auto power roll cage kit, something like that is designed to fit within the confines of a Miata.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you put me in there with a helmet on, I don't fit.
Mm-hmm.
And so they put it in and then had to cut it all up and extend it to make me fit. And by the time it was done, the roof wouldn't go back on, and nobody wanted to claim the cage. Not the manufacturer of the claim, not Cameron. Nobody wanted their name on this cage. And it's nobody's fault, but I'm pretty sure in the episode we don't say who did what or where it came from because it looked that bad. And now, it gets rain in the car because the roll cage.
It's covered up, kind of.
Yeah, kind of.
Broke, just sitting there, whatever.
Yeah, we broke that one too. So, what else? What can we talk about here?
I seen somebody ask about the Corvette that your neighbor used to have. That Corvette was in my shop for like 2 years. I got it running and driving. Had to do a lot of work to it. They went to our buddy Anthony Bell and his dad. They wet sanded it, made the paint look really good, repainted the bumpers on it, and that car is on the street now. So it's back to life.
You're just happy it's out of your garage.
Absolutely.
So this was an orange 1975 Corvette, which holds the distinction of being the lowest horsepower 350 V8 ever put in a Chevy car.
I think it's like 180.
It's 180, 175. It's bad.
Like, there's a badge on the console.
Yeah.
It tells you the power. It's like, why would you put that there? It's embarrassing.
Most people put their arm right there and hide it. Nobody wants to show that off. Yeah, it's like 175 or 180 horsepower Corvette. So anyway, my neighbor Bobby, I never knew it. He had it in his backyard under a pop-up awning and like 3 car covers. And it was the first car he ever bought. And when he was moving, he needed to move it, had nowhere to put it. And we pulled the covers off of it, dragged it to my house, and discovered this car was mint, and it only had like
76,000 miles on it.
Yeah, 76,000 original miles on a 75 Corvette. And it was great. My brother got stung by a hornet while we were getting it out of there. Yeah, he got stung by a hornet. Spring a mic, thank you. And so this car went to my house for a little while, and then I held on to it. Then it went to your house because Bobby had sold it and the new owners needed work done to it. And then you had the unfortunate affliction of having to work on a 75 Corvette, which they're horrible. You have to take the inner fenders out to put spark plugs in the motor.
Yeah, it's bad.
If somebody hits your Corvette, like a 75, the fenders are glued onto the car. Like it's horrible. Like they are awful cars. But this one was really clean, and you went really slow.
Yeah, whatever. 2
years.
A lot of parts on that car.
It's a long time.
Dual calipers or 2 pieces. I'll never own one.
No, me neither. No. I love Georgia for that. You just like backyards. There's just stuff in them.
Everywhere.
You never know. My cousin Randy's texting me. My cousin Randy is texting me because Randy owns the Renegade jet boat, the Rogers, that Freiber and I put the engine out of the muscle truck in the jet boat 8 years ago, went boating for 2 hours, and then put the motor out of the boat back in the truck. Like, my cousin Randy's texting me because we're about to bring that boat back on a future episode of Roadkill this season.
Yes.
And I'm really excited about it. I'm not going to tell you guys what we're doing, but you're absolutely going to love it. In fact, a lot of the builds on Roadkill this year are really good. Like the Hemi Gremmy is coming back. Death Metal, I think, is coming back. Mayhem is coming back. And we're getting back to our roots of building stuff, really off the wall stuff. So you guys are going to like Roadkill this year for sure. I think a lot of people are here to find out about that trans behind us. We should talk about that.
That one?
Yeah. So that is a Tremec Magnum 6-speed manual gearbox. One of the best street transmissions like ever. It's the same trans. It's the same kind of trans that I had in Blasphemy when we first put the car together. I've got one in Death Metal. Like I've put them in several things because the great thing about that trans is it's really not very big. It has a double overdrive. I believe it's 0.63 in 6th gear on this one. They're narrow. They fit a lot of cars, and they make adapter bell housings from QuickTime and other companies that can put that thing behind almost anything. And there are companies like Silversport Transmissions, who make kits to take your truck or muscle car or whatever from 2 pedals to 3 pedals seamlessly. And we're big fans of them. We used a Silversport Transmissions kit in my wife's 69 El Camino. He used one in Tempted Murder Nova.
Yep.
And we love their kits. We love that trans. And so on February 19th, I think it's the 19th, right? Is it February 19th?
Let me check my calendar.
Okay, yeah. February 19th at 9 p.m. Eastern, we're going to have another trivia night, and we are giving away not only the trans, but the Silversport Transmissions install kit for your vehicle. You guys can win this. So same rules as we've had before on trivia night. We're going to take all of the questions from like the last 4 uploads on Finnegan's Garage, and we're going to give away prizes all night long. We've got a brand new Cadillac shirt for Finnegan Speed Marine. We have Silversport Transmissions, hats, coffee mugs, transmissions. We're giving away memorabilia, broken parts off our cars. We're giving away a bunch of stuff, probably about 20 questions. And the last question that night wins you that. I don't know what the package is worth, but it's got to be like $7,000.
It is. It's right around $7,000 worth of stuff.
Yeah. So that will be on February 19th, Friday night at 9 p.m. Come back here. We will do this again. It's going to be amazing. You guys got any questions? What do you want to talk about? We've done nothing but talk what we want to talk about. So what do you guys want to talk about?
People keep asking about the Toyota.
Oh, yeah. So let's go back to Roadkill, because we haven't talked about Roadkill yet, right? So the newest Roadkill episode came out. I don't know what the name or number of it is. It might be 117, I think. We're 10 years into this, like, just crazy. We're filming season 10 of Roadkill.
Yeah.
And the crux of this episode is we need to get from Georgia to Florida to go see Cletus McFarland and do his event at the Freedom Factory. And we borrowed Dave's truck. A
truck that I've never driven, that's been sitting in the yard since we bought it. I knew nothing about it.
So the episode it's right now on the Motor Trend app. You can watch it live. Some of the things that you don't know because it wasn't in the episode are the history of that truck. And so the reason he's never driven it is he and I went down to Florida in the green C50 ramp truck and picked it up. And I bought the truck because it came with an LS motor that was not in the truck. It also came with a bunch of other tools and parts and was a really great deal. And we bought it from a guy named Steve Shaw, who's no longer with us. Fantastic human being. And so on the way home, I had remembered that Blasphemy was broken and I needed to get the Hemi out. Or I needed the trans out or something. I needed either the trans out or the trans back in Blasphemy, but I had to get home because I was going to miss a dinner with my kids or something. It was something important. So on the way home, I lost my mind and I went, Dave, take care of the trans and Blasphemy. You can have the mini truck. And so all the way home, you were like, dude, I'm going to build a mini truck for Drag Week. This is going to be amazing. You know, is that how it went, basically?
Something like that. You wanted the motor out of it. You wanted the LS that came with it, basically, for a project. And then we ended up trading the 540 that came out of my car for the LS.
Whoa, back up. So that's later on. So by the end of the ramp truck road trip, he is now the owner of that mini truck. Yeah. And I have the LS that, you know, you guys have probably never seen on this channel. So then fast forward, we've drugged that yellow Firebird, the rubber duck, out of the barn, got it running, taken Granny for a ride down the drag strip, done burnouts, and we realized the footage we had shot made a really good Roadkill episode, even though the Roadkill crew wasn't here. So they decided to take that episode and turn it into a 2-parter where we road tripped the Firebird all the way to Texas to meet Freiberger and Dulcich and race the Crusher against the rubber duck, purely because they look really similar. That was the only reason to do the race. The problem was we knew the engine in the rubber duck was wounded. It was really unhappy. It didn't run good, you know, when we took it down the drag strip in Georgia.
It smoked real bad.
And it smoked really bad. And so I had a feeling it wasn't going to make it to Texas. So it had a big block Chevy. The only good big block Chevy we had around was the one out of the Attempted Murder Nova, which he had broken the year before at Drag Week. And so I said, Dave, I'm in a tough spot. I need to shoot this episode of Roadkill. I need a big block Chevy. I'll trade you the LS that I just got. with the mini truck for your big box Chevy, and I'll pay to rebuild it, and then we'll use it on the Roadkill shoot. So he ends up with the mini truck and the LS that I bought. I end up rebuilding his motor, and we do end up sticking it in the Firebird like a third of the way through that road trip for the Roadkill shoot. And so now that LS never even made it into the mini truck because we stuck it in the Attempted Murder Nova and put nitrous to it. And then you raced Emily Reeves and back in December and had a good old time.
It runs good now.
Yeah. The Firebird runs great. And Attempted Murder Nova runs great. And the mini truck is still here, which is why we then used it for an episode of Roadkill, the one that just came out. And why you had never driven it. And we had no idea how bad the small block Chevy under the hood of that mini truck was until we tried to drive to Florida, and it ate 51 quarts of oil, I think. Like legit ate it. Like the whole trip, Freiberger and I off camera, like, dude, we can't put this out. Like this looks really irresponsible. We're just leaving a smoke train from Georgia to Florida, and we were actively trying to make it better, and we just couldn't. Like we tried every mechanic in a can. At one point, we stopped at Kevin's shop and changed the intake gaskets, and that helped a little bit. But in the end, this thing burnt 51 quarts of oil. It was burning a quart of oil about every 7 miles.
That's insane.
Yeah, it was crazy. And so by the time we got to Florida, we were so sick of inhaling the oil smoke in the cab. And we had gone through all the oil, and it was fouling spark plugs like every 15 miles. Like it was bad. And so the episode come out. No one seems to really care that we were no good for the environment on that one. It got really good mileage. The fuel economy really good. So maybe the fuel economy and the oil economy,
really good.
Well, I don't know, but it was really good. It was really good.
Hopefully it's just something in the heads. I can just put a new set of heads on it and play with that thing some more. Yeah,
Greta, Joe, anybody else out there that's worried about the environment, we got this. We're fine, dude. It all balanced out, dude. So that's that.
Let's give them a ramp truck update.
You give it. I'm gonna drink water.
So right now the ramp truck is in primer. They are almost ready to paint the cab. The chassis is ready to go. I completely stripped the chassis down, DA'd the whole frame, cleaned everything, replaced every bit of the front suspension, all the steering parts. It's freshly painted, looking really good. So as soon as they call and say the cab's got paint on it, we'll haul it back over there, start assembling that thing.
Allegedly this week they're supposed to be painting the cab.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Which is being incredible. Like the ramp truck's been out of commission for so long. I bought other ramp trucks so that we'd have something to haul with.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. The OG Roadkill ramp truck was the start of the ramp truck addiction. I love it. And a lot of people, even the body shoppers, say, are you going to sell this? I'm like, no, that's actually my favorite one of all of them. I love that truck, especially after we got the guys from Power Driver Diesel to come here and help us twin turbo the Cummins that's in it. Like that thing is a beast and it tows great and it looks awesome. But it was gone for so long that I bought Square Force 1. And then, the red one and the green one, and then the other red one.
Oh, wow.
And we've had a few ramp trucks. And so, because we haul all the time. We need things to haul.
It's fun.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. And so once the OG comes back, I don't know. We won't need some of these other ones. So I don't know what happens. Lincoln Hawk, the giant Kodiak ramp truck, I think is going to go to Arizona to get some work done to it. And I believe Square Force 1 will still end up going to my friend Eric, who's kind of working that whole thing out for us. And so then we'll be down to the giant Lincoln Hawk ramp truck and the OG because Square Force will be gone. The green C50 we sold to Phil on the West Coast, who's building it for his sick Nova. And we'll be down to 2. And I feel like 2 is a reasonable number of ramp trucks. Ask any woman.
That's enough.
Yeah.
Cotton's never want to finish a project, so he don't need no damn ramp truck. Yeah. I said it.
Is he here? Oh, throwing shade at Michael Wayne Cotton. Man. I don't know. Like, he could finish something. He's had a lot of really good ideas. They just haven't come to fruition yet.
All right. So, let's give him a vote. Where's Game Over?
Oh, so Game Over is in the other bay here, and we broke it. And there was a short period of time where I had considered selling it because I was like, the building is the fun part for me, and then the initial drive, and then once the kinks are kind of worked out after that, I'm like, let's build something else. And so I was going to get rid of it, but Sonny Leonard passed away recently, and Sonny Leonard was the gentleman that owned the company that made the engine in that boat. And so then I was like, nah, man, I can't get rid of this thing. Like, in particular, the motor. I don't want to get rid of the motor. And so so Game Over's in the other room. The jet drive is not in the boat because I broke the jet drive one of the last few times I was driving it. So the jet drive's getting rebuilt, and then we'll goof around this summer again with Game Over out on the lake. And we've got some things we want to test, some parts and pieces that should make it even more of a handful to drive.
Yeah.
And when we do that, we'll make you guys more videos. We'll show you for sure. Yeah. What else? What have you been watching on TV recently? Do you ever watch TV?
I don't watch TV at all.
In general, I watch my laptop. I don't really watch TV. But
when I watch random YouTube videos, and that's about it.
What's the weirdest, randomest one you've watched recently?
I'm like a storm guy. I watch like really bad storms. I don't know why. I want to be a storm chaser.
I did not know this. So like Twister's your favorite movie then?
No.
No?
I mean,
that's the ultimate storm movie.
So
there's
fake.
cows flying.
Yeah.
Bill Paxton would not.
Oh my goodness.
Rest in peace. The movie was awesome. You really don't like Twister?
It's okay, but it's so there's so much fake stuff in it. I can't love it.
What was the fake stuff?
The cow, like just right in front of your face. Come on.
That was awesome though. I mean, come on. All of the classics are fake. They're movies like Fast and the Furious. Oh my God, really fake, and a blatant ripoff of Point Break, by the way. Like it's literally the same movie, the same characters with different names. You just trade the surfboards for Hondas, and you're there. Totally fake. Like let's talk about some of the scenes of that movie. The end where they finally line up, O'Connor, Toretto, and the Charger does a wheelie, and you can see the pole come out of the bottom of the thing. You can see the weight in the back. Like there's
no burnout, no prep, just bare street. Yeah, it ain't happening.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah,
the Charger.
When the Eclipse blows up, like, dude. Oh, that's the one where I saw the pole come out the bottom of it. The Charger is the one where you can almost see where they stack weight off the back of the car to make it go up. Yeah. Never mind the fake supercharger that's
bolted to the top of the hood.
Yeah, it's not doing anything there. But having said that, love the movie. It's the reason I want a Mark IV Supra. Like, it's like one of my bucket list cars is a Mark IV Supra. And I know that sounds weird coming from me. You probably wouldn't expect it, but I love Mark IV Supras because they're amazing, but also because of Fast and the Furious. You know?
And what's the other car you love that I want you to find one so bad I can't stand it?
C2 Corvette.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. When the Cadillac's done, I'm searching for a C2 Corvette to run drag week with because I just love. Schroeder and Enns have the baddest C2 Corvette I've ever seen in my life, and the sight of that thing going down a highway with wheelie bars and stuff is just tickles my naughty bits. It does. What's your bucket list?
I don't know.
What's the car? What do you want? Oh, you have it now. That's not as nice as you wanted it to be, but you have it. Did we put that video out?
No, not yet.
Dude, was it for Christmas?
I have Hollywood Nights.
You do?
I have Project X.
I bought him a car.
It's Project A, B, C, D, E.
It's X squared.
Yeah.
I bought him a 2-door 57 Chevy Bel Air because he loves Hollywood Nights. He loves American Graffiti. He loves Project X. And I love those two, and I love that car, and I get it. And I bought him a 57 Chevy Bel Air that is every bit as crappy as Blasphemy was when I got it out of that dude's backyard. Like, it's the same, which means there's potential. And
definitely.
And it's what I could afford right before Christmas. Because they're expensive.
That's all that counts. Thank you.
They're expensive.
Very sweet of you.
Like, dude, like a 57 Chevy, like a driver, is $40,000 anywhere. And a nice one, $75,000. Like, dude,
I'm gonna just clear the surface rust, put a floor in it, and
you may want to chicken wire some of that surface rust before you clear over, just to hold the car together.
Oh man,
that's bad. Chris B, thank you. It's bad, but like the dash is not cut.
The dash is nice.
The pillars are good. The window surrounds are good.
All around the windows, yep.
But it's full Flintstone. There's no
Nothing.
floor.
But it does have a California frame.
It has a California frame, dude.
There you go.
That's the good one. That's the good one. You don't even have to change that. Ship
it. Our buddy Clay Milliken has a show too every Tuesday.
Yeah,
he goes live on Facebook.
The DNC show. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so if you want to like hear from a Top Fuel driving legend, that's the one. Mm-hmm. Go watch that. The DNC show. Is it every Tuesday?
Every Tuesday.
Is everybody podcasting on Tuesdays now? What are we doing on Wednesday here?
We're going to start on Wednesday. Here we go.
Can't be like
this is number one.
Can't be like everybody else.
That's right.
Can't. It ain't gonna work.
Can't be choosing between all your friends. What the hell y'all doing? Having to flip from channel to channel. Show my support.
All right. Should we answer some of their questions?
Sure.
All right. What about the Earl Camino Mopar Dude 92? Tell them about the Earl Camino. Where's that at?
Earl Camino. We bought that. I pulled the drivetrain out of that, put in my Nova for the 2018 drag week.
Yep.
RIP. That didn't end well.
RIP. That's the motor that you hold every piston with nitrous at drag week.
I broke every single piston. All 8 pistons cracked, busted. That was bad.
But you finished.
I did finish.
Yeah. Not with that motor, though.
No, not with that motor. My buddy Lanky's got that now, and he's actually got it back running, and he traded me a dump truck for the body.
You got a dump truck?
I did.
I didn't know that.
I traded the dump truck for something else.
Oh.
Yeah, he traded me an old dump truck for the body of Earl Camino, and then he put another motor in it, and he's got it back running. He's been doing some burnouts with it and going to car shows and stuff. So it's actually on the road.
Does Lanky know he's in one of the latest episodes of Fast with Finnegan?
He messaged me. You know what's crazy is I don't even remember like racing him. I don't remember like doing that at all.
I don't either. So I was going through a bunch of footage I had in my phone, oddly enough, and I come across this, and I'm like, "Is that me falling up and down the hill at drag week when we're ripping foot races?" And I'm like, "No." I'm like, "There's Newbird and Lanky," and I'm like, "I don't even remember you dudes racing."
I don't either.
But it was a good race.
Yeah, I won. Hell,
yeah, when it's good.
That's right.
All right. Next question. What would be a good car for drag week? The one you own, because if you have to go out and buy one and then build that one and start from there, it's even more expensive. There are classes for everything at drag week except motorcycles. You got to be on 4 wheels. So whatever you have, start with that. Look at the rules, find a class you fit in, have the time of your life. How do we win the trans? McKay Clark. Okay, McKay Clark, here's how you win the trans. On the 19th of February at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're doing this again, live stream, except it's going to be trivia night. All the questions will be taken from the last 4 episodes of Finnegan's Garage that we upload. We're giving away all kinds of stuff, but the very last question will win you that transmission and install kit from Silversport Transmissions. And just to reiterate things for you guys, in the live chat, you'll be commenting with your answer. It has to be a correct answer, and it has to be the first correct answer that pops up on our live chat, not yours, because our internet works differently than yours, different speeds and that. And so what'll happen is, and this is not for the trans right now. We're not doing this right now, but I'll ask you a trivia question like, what's Dave's middle name? And then you type it in the comment in the live chat, and the first person that gets it right, like we can slow that chat down and see who's first. You win the trans, and we'll ship it to you. And dude, that's a hell of a start on any project.
Yeah, it is. $7,000 package right there.
Yeah. Caleb Driggers, are you going to take the Rotson home? That is the one roadkill car that I've told the producers, like, if you ever sell it, you got to call me first. Nobody else. Like, I don't want that car going anywhere. And it's not because it's a great car. Like, it is. I just raced it a few weeks ago for an upcoming episode of Roadkill. It is truly a pile of crap. Like, every time I see it, it's worse. The rust is worse. Everything about it is worse. The whatever mod you're working on now is overlapping something that was done 4 years ago, and it's just hacked. And it's crap, and I would never fix it. And but I don't want it to disappear like Maserati did, and I don't want someone else to get it and make it too nice. So the Rotson is like the one roadkill car that the company owns that I would love to have.
Stubby Bob.
Yeah. But the thing about Stubby Bob though is it would be sacrilege to make it safe, but the only way to do repeated wheelies is to fix it and make it safe. But making it safe takes all the character out of that thing, or a good portion of it. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Mike Davidson, speaking of Maserati, any word on it? Not a lot, although recently I had a couple of people that messaged me and were like, we know where the motor for Maserati is.
What?
Yeah. A couple of weeks ago, I had a guy on Instagram message me. He's like, here's the license number, description of the car and the guy. He's got the motor. He stuck it in a jet boat. I don't know where the truck is, though. And ironically, it's in the same town it was stolen from. Yeah.
The motor was destroyed.
I know. It was junk, dude. We broke the motor and the transaxle in Maserati, which is why it was so weird somebody bothered to steal it. But it's highly likely it never left Blythe, California.
It's still there. Crystal.
Yeah, happy birthday. So anyway, is Blasphemy going to be ready for Rocky Mountain Race Week? I don't know.
Probably.
I'm having a lot of trouble finding parts for the Hemi right now. We destroyed everything. It needs crank, rods, pistons. The rods and pistons are no problem. I can get those from CP Carrillo pretty quickly. It's a hell of a time finding a crank right now. Everybody's back ordered. Like everybody got their stimulus checks and bought Hemi parts. So everything is 12-week back order. So I'm waiting on a crank. I think we can repair the heads. I got a new engine block from Keith Black Racing Engines. They have brand new Hemi blocks and they looked amazing and beautiful. And that block has been sitting at Harrell Engine and Dyno in Mooresville for, I don't know, he's probably had it two months, maybe longer than that. And I just don't have the parts to send to put it back together. So working on that. I had a phone call yesterday with some guys that might have, a line on some parts, and we'll put it back together. As to whether it goes back to Rocky Mountain Race Week, it just depends on work schedule. A lot of what we do here is based entirely around what we're filming. And so if we're filming something else, that goes first before we do anything else. All right. Who's got a question? How many Dixon flannels do you own? I don't know, not that many. I tend to recycle them. So they never wear out. That's the problem with the Dixon flannel is like they don't wear out. And so I have welded them all the time. I lay on the ground in them all the time. They last a long time.
Somebody asked what happened to your white Toyota.
The Toyota mini truck. That's an interesting story. I bought it for my friend Alex, and I was just gonna park it for a long time, and then switch it from airbags to hydraulics, and then wait for my kids to get old enough to drive, and that would probably be one of their first cars. But then I got approached by several really cool people that are connected to Tameco Paints. And when SEMA didn't happen last year, Tameco decided to have their own kind of event for paintucation, for lack of a better term. And so they rented out a stadium in, was it West Virginia? Virginia or West Virginia?
I took it to Virginia Beach.
Okay, so it was
it was near there,
somewhere near Virginia Beach, and they had a seminar for like 4 or 5 days where you could go there and learn to custom paint and airbrush and stuff like that, and pinstripe and all that. And so the truck was there, and over the span of like 4 days, they did a full 90s style tribal graphic job on it. And the weather came in, screwed the whole thing up for them. They didn't finish it, so it got shipped back out to California to Matt Hutchison's place, and he is wrapping up the paint job on that thing. And then at some point we'll have to go get it or something, or maybe it'll get shipped. I'm not sure, but
maybe have a Toyota mini truck shootout.
Oh,
turbo that thing.
That's an idea. I like that.
I'll put nitrous on mine.
Johnny Johnson says 1969 GTOs are the best. Badass car. Christopher Good, thank you. Speaking of GTOs, did you see Big Chief's car got painted? It's nice.
Big Chief's car?
Yeah. So I watch Street Outlaws religiously, and I've been watching Mega Cash Days. And so I watched, I don't know, it's like episode 5 of Mega Cash Days was on Monday, and the car's on there, and it just looks pretty well beat. The hood looks bare fiberglass, and the wings scratched and whatnot, and it kind of looks like how it's looked for a while, which I kind of liked about it. And that show was probably recorded months ago, but recently I saw a photo of it. He had texted me photos of it, and it's bullet straight and gloss black and looks incredible.
So Sean just did that to the Murder Nova too. So
yeah. Sean painted Murder Nova too. Is it the?
That's the new car.
He painted the no prep car, gloss black, I think. Right.
It's not the OG.
Yeah, the OG is still flat black.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm assuming that because I didn't see the intake coming out of the hood, so I'm assuming that was the new car.
I think it was the no prep car. And they both look, Jesus, they're nice looking. Yeah. They're really nice. Like black cars. If you never painted a car, to paint something black is really, really bold, because black shows everything. If your bodywork sucks and it's wavy and you can surf down the side of the car on the waves, you'll see it in a black car worse than any other car. And neither one of these look like that. Like, at least from my perspective on the internet, looking at photos or my phone or whatever. Damn, they are nice.
I don't care about none of those. I want Sean's 55. Good Lord, dude. That car is bad. That car is bad.
Yeah, I think it's sick, dude. Yeah. He told me he wants to drive that thing cross country.
I would too.
Yeah. I'd do it.
Like a road trip.
That thing's gonna have a stereo in it.
Your car and his car, like on a road trip, would be cool.
He'd be way more comfortable than I would.
Yeah.
like I did it in my car. Like Freiberger and I drove Blasphemy from LA to North Carolina, and when we got there, I was like, don't want to do that again. Oh my god, worst seats ever. No stereo. When we did it, so we had that the Tremec Six-speed in Blasphemy, right? We had a 28-inch slick on the back of it and 543 gears in the rear axle.
Good Lord.
I have no idea why I don't know what happened. I don't know why there was 543 gears in the rear end. I'm sure the rear end company didn't screw up. I'm sure we asked for it, but I don't know why we asked for that. But the car was NA, had 543s, 28-inch tires. And when you went down the highway, like 65 miles an hour was like $3,000 or more. I mean, it was a lot, even in 6th gear. And so halfway through the trip, a light bulb went on, and I'm like, oh, earmuffs. Let me put the earmuffs on, because I'm dead. I'm deaf because of that car.
Well, I'm deaf too.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yep. Suburban updates. Don't have any. That thing's perfect. We just drive it around. We literally, the 66 Suburban, we just drive it around. I tune the amplifier a little bit so the bass sounds a little better. Other than that, it needs air conditioning, and it does need suspension work. Like, when you go around corners, there's no sway bars, so it leans a lot. The tires rub a little bit. So at some point down the road, we're going to call QA1 and get some sway bars for it and hop that thing up, because it needs work. Joseph Smith, do you watch other YouTube guys? Yeah, totally. Who do I watch on YouTube? 187 Customs YouTube channel is really good. Actually, a lot of the Street Outlaw guys now have YouTube channels, and they're putting content on it. Like Ryan Fireball's got a channel.
Cuddy's got a channel.
Boosted GT. I usually watch his live stream after all the episodes go up. And Emily and Aaron Reeves have a really good channel. I love when they do boat stuff. And
Alex Taylor, Vice Grip Garage. There's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of good ones.
Cletus.
Yeah.
The Boosted Boys. There's a bunch of just good ones. Like, it's crazy how many people have taken advantage of the platform.
Yeah.
And it's so crowded now in the automotive space that YouTube doesn't recommend everything to you. And so if you don't go searching for it, you'll never find out that, there's a guy in his garage in Missouri building a pro mod, or Nick's rebuilding. He crashed that. What did he have? It was a Model A he crashed, the sedan.
3030.
The Dirty 30, he crashed that, and he's building another one or something similar to it in his home garage while working overtime and doing everything else. And that dude's doing everything himself.
Oh, it's amazing too. The welds, the fitment of the part, everything he's doing. I'm paying attention. It looks awesome.
Yeah. So Whistling Diesel. I don't know him. I've seen some of his stuff. He's having a lot of fun. and pissing a lot of people off.
Yeah, he's not driving none of our stuff. We do enough damage to our own stuff.
Has Lutz run yet? I don't know what that means. Some of you are talking about Jeff Lutz, but I don't know what you mean. Did you get invited to the Freedom 500? I did. I've been fortunate enough to be invited to all of Cletus's events, and it just hasn't worked out. he texted me the other day and was like, "Can you do the one in April?" And I looked at the calendar. I'm like, "No, we're filming Roadkill, and we can't film another Roadkill at your event because we just did that." And I didn't get to race, unfortunately. But yeah, one day I will get to go back there and go have some fun because he keeps inviting me, and I'm totally flattered by that, and I want to do it. I just need to have a day off.
Yeah.
Hap TV, is Drag Week 2021 gonna happen?
Are you allowed to say?
No.
Okay,
next. Ranchero Alaska Trip 2, Danny the OG. Probably not, because we were successful. We made it there. So I don't think we'd go again.
F-Rod. Yeah, the F-Rod.
Oh, the F-Rod's
Fryburger's new.
Dude, the F-Rod's a beast.
Yes, it is.
A beast. He was texting me the other day. It only weighs like 2,600 with him in it.
Yeah, don't say anything, any kind of details.
No.
We haven't released it yet, but it is badass.
No, so I know how quick it is, and I ain't saying, but it's so light, dude. It's like 26 something with him in it.
Yeah, 2640, I believe.
So
with him in
light, and he says it's got the wrong converter. I think if he goes back to the track with the right converter, I think there's a couple tenths sitting in the way it is. And I think that's a legit 850 car, naturally aspirated, which means he could go to Drag Week with it if he was inclined and just clean house in the hot rod class.
I wish he would. I know he loves, announcing, but damn it, I want him to compete.
So, and I wonder about that because you're right. Like I've asked him multiple times, do you ever want to run Drag Week? And he really enjoys doing the announcing with Brian Loans. But part of me thinks now that car works, maybe he would be inclined. Maybe. I don't know. I don't want to put words in his mouth because I honestly don't know the answer. But that's a bad car. Right
yes,
there.
it is.
Stoked for him. So let's see. Let's do a couple more questions here, and then we're gonna clock out and go
to lunch.
Yeah. Why not?
Really hungry.
All right. You go. I'll take the last few questions. Let's see. David Ward, I came in late. Did I miss the info about the trans? You did, but we'll recap it one more time. Okay, so for everybody that came in late, that is a Tremec 6-speed Magnum gearbox, brand new with a Silversport Transmissions install kit. They have a kit to convert almost any muscle car or truck from 2 pedals to 3 pedals. The kits are amazing. In most cases, they bolt in. You don't have to do any cutting. Sometimes in your smaller cars, like my wife's El Camino, we had to mod the trans tunnel a little bit. But they even have a template for that. Like they're amazing kits. And so February 19th at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will meet you all back here on Finnegan's Garage. We'll have a live stream trivia contest. All of those questions are going to come directly from the last 4 episodes of Finnegan's Garage that we'll upload. We'll have about 20 questions. We're giving away all kinds of stuff. Brand new Finnegan Speed Marine merch, souvenirs, broken parts off our cars, and a bunch of stuff from Silversport Transmissions, including hats, coffee mugs, and oh yes, that. And the very last question we ask, the first person to correctly answer that question in the live chat comments and on our screen, the first right answer we see, you win. We will mail you that, and you'll have a heck of a head start on your new project. So,
when somebody asks, like, would it fit my Pontiac? Well, you're going to get the kit. You're going to specify what kind of car you have, and they will sell you or give you the kit that fits your car.
Yeah.
Direct bolt in.
The great thing about the trans is it's double overdrive, 6-speed, 0.63 overdrive ratio. And because the bell housing is removable, you can adapt it to almost anything. And they have QuickTime bell housings that fit all the popular applications. The way this will work is if you win, we'll put you in contact with Silversport, and you tell them what car you have, and hopefully, I'm pretty sure they will. They'll have a kit to fit your car.
Pedals, everything.
Yeah. If your car never had a stick in it, you're going to get a pedal assembly. You're going to get the clutch master cylinder, the lines down, the throw off bearing,
transmission tunnel, like everything.
Transmission mount, like all that stuff. So it's going to be rad. Gerardo Ayala, thank you. Let's see. I think that's pretty much it.
I think so.
I feel good. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go pick my kids up from school, eat some lunch, and we will see you guys February 19th live here on Finnegan's Garage. In the meantime, we'll probably have another episode of the show up on Friday. Maybe don't hold me to that, but every day's Friday. So whatever day it lands, that's Friday.
What time next Friday?
9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Pacific.
Be there.
See ya.